And it is Tuesday night. We are live at Grumpy Acres Farm. Hi to everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you guys are doing well today. As you can see, we have a special guest in the fact that she can't be left alone for 5 seconds because she gets into stuff.
Her's a puppy. She's 6 weeks old.
Tell them a little bit about her. What's her name?
Yeah, so we named her, and this is Dolly. And so Dolly Glenn, and it means Bluebird, leader of the valley. And she looks like she's going to be a leader. She's pretty large and in charge. So she's only 6 weeks old and getting really, really big. But yeah, she's a gray and white border collie. And she's been a real pleasure to have, and super, super smart.
And she's related to Freya.
Yeah, this is Freya's niece, and so it's good to have her. But
I didn't say hi when we came on. I wanted Starless here, and
hey, Starla, I got your message, and I will call you.
My Crooked Homestead, Hippocrates Garden. Mrs. Hacks is here. Naughty Heathen. Nowhere. Is that Bullet or? Yeah. And Pat Wiley. Yes, she is cute. She's very cute. That's why I'm going to keep her.
Are you getting tired? You got stinky puppy breath.
Well, I know that some of you guys got hit really hard last week.
Yeah. Hey, Aaron.
Lucy says she finally got a break from the blizzard, which is a good thing.
Yeah. Did you guys see how many people are stuck in the airport? So because Denver, people are like living in the airport right now, separated from all of their hygiene and belongings and everything. It's pretty bad.
Something happened to Southwest Airlines.
I missed it. Yeah, they shut down for a little bit. The weather didn't help, and so they're backed up for days.
Yeah. So we survived. I did that little update yesterday, and
yeah. Lucy, this is Dolly, Doli, and that means Bluebird. And then Glenn, Glinn, that's her middle name. And that is Gaelic for leader of the valley. So we've got Bluebird, leader of the valley, which means a lot for our homestead here. So the Bluebirds and the Cardinals were everything that we saw after there was a disaster. Every single time they were here. So always letting us know that we could just move ahead, move forward, push forward, and we were going to be okay. So it's a very suiting name for her. And she's going to do great.
Naughty Heathen and Tag showed up. Apparently they were in a conversation. I'm going to move this just a tad. There we go. And then Cindy showed up. And, you know, it got really cold here. Wasn't the next coming of the ice age like what everybody made it out it was going to be, but it was uncomfortably cold.
Uncomfortably cold, but we made it through. We had a test last year. It got 26 below zero. So 41 below zero was nothing. We made it through, figured out a few ways to keep warm and get all that done. Still, we turned the furnace on, but I put it down to 50 and our furnace never kicked in. So we're still heating all wood and everybody's comfortable. So no big deal.
Bullet says he sees the same things with the Bluebirds and Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yep. And then RN said, we were below freezing from early Friday until today. Found 3 baby rattlesnakes in the driveway, frozen and dead.
Ooh.
Everybody keeps telling us there's rattlesnakes around here, but I haven't seen one.
Better knock on wood.
Knock on wood. Not that I believe in that stuff.
Our neighbor has been bit several times. So, yeah, he knows where all the dens are.
Tag says, Naughty Heathen takes a stand. Doesn't necessarily agree with him all the time. I take it by that comment. Let's see. Pat Wiley says, God gave me a Cardinal song to get me out of the funk when I first moved to Kansas. You know what? That going into a funk seems to be what happens when you move to Kansas, isn't it?
Don't move to Kansas.
It's overcrowded. There's too many people, and we're all racist and bigoted. So don't move here. But and then you were sick all last week.
Oh man, and yeah, no, I went down on Sunday, and oh man, Tuesday, Tuesday, I couldn't move. And it was horrible. Just whatever I looked at gave me a headache. It was just bad. I tried to be with you guys in chat, and I had to give up after a while. So It is what it is. I had my garlic and went in full jar and did some other medicine and tried to get everything normal. Still have this cough lingering, and it'll probably be here. I've had this before, and it's that upper respiratory BS that I don't know. Anyway, so I could feel the gurgling and all of that. Kind of, I know my body pretty well, so I knew what I needed to do and quickly pulled out natural antibiotics and had an inhaler in here and all of that. So got myself through it. And
I just loaded up on vitamin C and stayed away from her. To be honest with you. Let's see here. Where are we? Aaron says we had any poisonous snakes on our property before now. Bullet says we're getting our in-laws on property next year. Spent all Christmas break planning with them to work out what's needed for next year. Well, congratulations.
Good.
Extra hands always help.
Well, and just their wisdom, even the wisdom that my dad has, that always came in handy.
Oh, and they're moving from South Texas. Yeah. That's going to be a big break, a big change.
Yeah.
I was talking, Rescue's in chat. I was talking with him. They said it got really cold down there where he is.
Yeah.
You got, like I said, you people down south, you aren't built for it like we are. Just don't have, unless you're a transplant, of course.
Right.
I remember down in Arizona when it rained, no rain gutters, no storm sewers, no nothing. And everybody freaked out. It was like snow in Arkansas.
14. I'd take 14. I'd take 14
well,
degrees.
not down in Texas yet. And then I hope none of you guys have been hit by the rolling blackouts. I was watching the news on that, and that's just plain crazy. We haven't had that issue here, but I guess back east they got hit with it, and now out west they got hit with it too.
Yeah, but and it's just like Mrs. Hacks and I were talking today. She called me and Mrs. Hacks, if you're still in here, how did Princess take that half a beer tonight? Yeah. So Princess had her baby, and she's not eating now. And so I told Patty had called me, and she said, "What do I do? How do I get her to eat?" Well, one old school trick is you give them half a beer at night and then a half a beer in the morning, and that will should give them the encouragement to go start nibbling a little bit. And once they start nibbling, they won't stop eating.
Daniel just got home with it, so they haven't.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, give her half tonight.
Lucy says they postponed till the 30th, Christmas dinner for the 30th, and she's butchering a 20-pound turkey tomorrow. But
stupid what YouTube
is that on our are we lagging, or is it everybody, or is it just not either?
He got some new equipment for Christmas, so I hope we're not lagging. We should actually be better set up now than we have been for
we got a new microphone, so it should sound a little bit better. Give us a 1 if it sounds better. Or
yeah, exactly, Tag. You're trying to give him the munchies. Yeah.
But, and then we got a new light, so you notice it's not casting really heavy shadows all over the place. I've been playing with it. It's actually got a rainbow thing on it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play with that a little bit too.
Yeah, Lucy. So my go-to is Iron Soup and Flu Buster, and I did that. But you have to be very careful when you do that. You need to make sure you have an entire brand new box of Kleenex next to you, and boy, that'll clean you out. And you get 2 jars up and running. So I just got to get rid of this cough.
Patty says that she did the sheep did eat her hay today.
Oh, good.
So that's good.
Good.
That's good. Our lamb is out there, and I checked on him tonight. He's doing really well. We stuck him out there with Mama on Christmas Day, and he wasn't too terribly happy this morning, but this afternoon he was doing okay. Bullet says we didn't lose a single animal in the freeze. Some frostbite on chicken combs.
Yeah.
So a little concern there, but time will tell.
So it'll turn black and then it'll start healing a little bit. I don't think there's many of us that fared through that without some frostbite. We even have it here, and I know that all of you think we have the perfect setup, but we don't. And it happens. And
who thinks we got the perfect setup?
I don't know. Everybody is always saying something. So,
I did have to deal with something I never dealt with before. And if you guys want to chime in on how you think to fix this long term, we had this one chicken who would not get up on the roost. She was down on the ground all day long during the freezes. And I would go out there and I heard something doing that on the floor, and it sounded like peg legs. And I looked down, and this chicken, her bend her talons, couldn't bend her ankles.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally had to bring her in here and use my hands to thaw her feet out. And that was the first time. The second time I got her, and she had blisters all over her feet from the frostbite. Lucy says it's glitchy. But so I had to deal with that. What to do about this chicken?
We're just gonna try to make it through, and if she survives, she survives. So
Yep.
you know, there's just not much we can do. But yeah, RN, the zinc and vitamin C. Yeah, you're right, and that's where I screwed up. I had the flea market, and I wasn't thinking. I should have prepped before that and made sure that I was taking my daily dose of I'm gonna say it, of ivermectin. And had I had my daily dose and started 3 days before, I probably would have slid out of it. So that's okay. I got busy cooking, and that's kind of the way it works, you know.
They're saying that the video's choppy.
Okay. So the sound is good, but the video is choppy. I don't know.
Please wait while we try reconnecting.
Yeah, that part of the country life.
Apparently we are back. If we're back, hopefully, and I apologize for that. It's again Starlink. It's a good connection, but it's not the best in the world. You know, and it's
just probably the best in the world if you live in the city, but not so great when you live out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? This will taste much better than me. I promise.
So yeah, we had, and that's the one thing I miss about Milo. So Milo was a Canadian partridge, right? Is that what he was? Canadian partridge. And so he had the little pea comb, and he didn't have the great big jowls like I don't even know what breed those two are. We got a Rhode Island red.
The black ones, right?
Yeah, the black
ones. Those are the ones. Those are the barred rocks.
Barred rocks, are they barred? Anyway, but they got the big flappy jowls. So they were all frostbit down here, and we got combs that were frostbit. Big thing I got to deal with now is all the poop all the poop in the coop, so to speak, is starting to thaw out. So I got to
kind of stinky.
I got to spend a day sometime in the next day or two and scrape that out. And good thing is I got a clean outdoor, and I can get it into the compost pile. Nowhere Homestead says I was loaded up on vitamin C, zinc, magnesium, and potassium, and that seemed to get me through.
What's the other one that it was Dr. Holden that said to use it, and it was the selenium. Selenium is also, if you can get that in your diet.
Selenium and NAC.
Once you start eating your natural animals that you're feeding on the land, you'll naturally get some psyllium. But if you don't have that, get the vitamin psyllium, and that'll work.
Yeah, and then of course Christmas rolled around. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. Felt kind of bad because we didn't do a video to say Merry Christmas to everybody.
You know what? And we wanted to, and we thought about you guys, but I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be very honest. We were with friends and family this weekend, and we had our great Italian Christmas, and we had pasta and ham and turkey and just everything. The cannolis, you got your cannoli, and you got the carrot this year, and which brings good luck. So we're hoping for that. You want to take it? I think she wants to go to you. And so we did all of that, and I didn't know. So we had talked, and I talked with Angie and Mario, and they knew that we were coming for Christmas, and she was fine all the way up until we got there. And then once she got there,
Angie is Angela's god sister.
Yeah, we grew up together in the military, especially in the Navy. It's very difficult to do that, but I've been with Ange since I was 2-3 years old, and so we'd always been together. And that's a gray and white border collie, and then look at those eyes, just bluest eyes you'd ever see. And but it's very rare to find a gray and white. And so when we got there, we usually hug and kisses and all that stuff, and everybody says hello. And Angie and I hugged and couldn't help but cry. So I looked at her and I said, "Are you crying? Why are you crying?" And she said, "I was fine until you got here." So I knew that wasn't bad. I knew it was a good thing.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
It was a good thing. So, but we're going to go ahead and do our annual girls lunch on Thursday.
Yeah.
And so I think we're meeting at Granite City and then go do some retail therapy. So sorry.
Great.
It'll be, hey, at least it's an outlet mall. So, yeah, we're going to go do that.
Hey, Marcia.
Yeah. Yeah. She is a doll. Her name is Dolly. And, she's sweet. So she's 6 weeks old. She turned 6 weeks old on Saturday. And I had to laugh because I took her out with the chickens and try to get her used to the chickens and figuring out, how that was going to work. And she got out there, and as soon as the chickens started flying, because they'd never seen her and she had never seen them, because of course the cold, we had everybody locked up. And she got out there as soon as they started flying and flapping their wings, all hell broke loose. She just started whining and coming back to me. So kind of crazy. Oh, bye, Rescue.
Rescue's got a washer that's leaking.
Oh,
you have a great evening. Go take care of that.
Get that done.
I'll talk to you tomorrow morning.
Yeah, tell your wife hi. So yeah, so we got that stuff done, and then had a very good Christmas. It was
well,
good to
and
be with
here's
everybody.
the thing, and I think
little Amelia, oh my goodness,
I'm not
so
gonna lie. It really didn't seem like Christmas for most of the holiday season, but I went off the diet, and I was telling the guys at work today, I'm really not sure it was worth it. Yeah, the cannoli was good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to lie, I had a couple.
He's not feeling very well.
Yeah, I'm not. I ate too many carbs, ate too many sugars, and I'm just not sure it was really worth it.
Yeah.
And the other thing I realized today why it didn't seem like Christmas at work, not a single vendor sent one of those great big tins of popcorn that they always send.
Yeah.
How messed up is that?
We didn't get any popcorn this Christmas.
It's a sign of the times that vendors aren't doing that for us anymore.
Yeah, we did get, you brought home some cheese biscuits and like not biscuits, they're like crackers. And so T-Paw had sent me some onion soup. And so when I wasn't feeling well, didn't really want to cook anything. And so one of the soups I had was her onion soup, and I put those crackers in it. The soup was delicious. Those crackers I could do without.
I liked them.
Those weren't very good, but I could have made better. So yeah, so that's what we did. And and then we got back Sunday night. Yesterday, you got the door put on the pantry.
Well, and I felt, and I honestly, I did feel recharged after going and seeing family friends. They're family. They're family. They're not related, but they're family. Yeah. I felt recharged, and I just my goal is just to survive till the beginning of the year, but I felt like I could do a little bit more. So
hey, Kentucky,
we started working on the pantry, or I started working on the pantry, and yesterday we had
here. Dad and Linda might be in here by now.
We had an 84-inch by 4-foot hole in our house yesterday. Okay, why are you doing that?
Dick blue eyes, because I think Dad and Linda are on here.
Oh.
Look at them blue eyes. I told him that I'd bring them on so that they could see your eyes.
But so I started that, and I'm gonna do a video, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm terrible at these construction videos. I get out there and I start working, and I completely forget to videotape stuff. I had to use the side cutter to cut out a great big section of metal, so there were sparks flying all over the place, and it was pretty dang dramatic, and I didn't get any footage of it.
You still have another door to do too.
Yeah, but I don't have to do any cutting.
You don't have to cut the front door?
No. Okay, Kentucky Sustainable Living showed up. I want to tell you right now, I haven't posted it. Thursday at 7 p.m. I'm going to interview him. We're going to have a live stream. We're gonna find out what makes Kentucky Sustainable Living tick, and you guys.
What makes them sustainable?
Yeah, if you guys got the time to show up 7 p.m. Central, join us for that live stream. I think it'll be pretty interesting. We're gonna try to do more of these interviews with these small YouTube creators and homesteaders, and caffeine and chewing tobacco.
Yeah.
But in the Marine,
what does it here too?
In the Marine Corps, it was whiskey. It was whiskey, chew, and hate. But yeah, so we're gonna start trying to do more interviews with people and just learn from each other. Share everybody's experiences out there because everybody's got a story to tell.
Well, and we're all in a different spot too.
Right.
And so if we can learn from each other and not make the mistakes that, like, if we could save you from any of the mistakes that we've made, we very much want to do that, because Lord knows we've made a lot of mistakes.
Well, and I was, okay, confession time. I was telling Angela yesterday, part of my problem the last year is I'm watching all these videos, and people that we know and people that we've met, they're doing all the stuff that we were doing a year and a half ago, and we have not been able to do it. You realize I haven't read a gardening book. I haven't read any books in the last year, 14 months. And that's very unusual for me. So that's one of the things I decided in Re-Energized. I'm going to get back into the swing of things. I was watching if you guys watched Tabletop Farms live yesterday, they had a great discussion over there, and I was listening to them, and they were talking about gardening and gardening for profit and stuff. And it was just, that's when I realized how out of the norm it's been for me the last year. So I'm gonna make a concerted effort to get back into the swing of things and start doing more of that stuff that we used to do.
So Bullet, where are you making that lumber run? We actually, I guess I'm gonna have to do a lumber run either tomorrow or
you got to get feet.
I got to get feet tomorrow, but I could go make the lumber run, drop the trailer, and then I could do that and then go get the feed. But I got to go make a lumber run. So where did you get the deal at? And then are you thinking that you're going to do a Homestead work day? Do we need to get something on the calendar?
Well, Starlet Tag was in here earlier. I didn't see Jonathan or
Andrew. Who knows? With coming off Christmas weekend and going into New Year's, the schedule this 2 weeks is crazy for everybody.
Oh yeah.
So he's been on me to make videos and that kind of thing. And man, it just, life is busy.
She has not made a video. She's not posted a video by herself since October 23rd.
Has it been that long?
It's been that long.
That's not true.
It is true.
That's not true. I did all those Thanksgiving videos and the cooking and all that. You said October.
I meant November. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Oh, they're getting it from applesauce.
Oh, okay. So those aren't what we need. We need OSB and all that stuff. Yeah. So yeah. But January, February, February, but not February 11th. We have a birthday party February 11th.
Do we?
Aiden's birthday. And so
you enjoy that.
We are going, aren't you?
I don't want to go.
Why wouldn't you go? You know as well as I do, it's just family there. I don't know why you go.
Who's slacking? Oh, nowhere Homestead he's slacking. Man, Bullet, you gonna let him talk to you that way? But I just, you guys, and I let myself. I was frustrated, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little jealous of watching people, and it's the one thing. The one thing that we can control in our lives, the way we react to everything.
You're only competing with yourself, and so. That's one of the things that I tell G all the time, and I tell other people in our circle, and I've heard other people in our circle tell me and say the same thing, is that, you cannot compare where you are with everybody else. And yeah, we were ahead of the ballgame, and then we had to sell everything, and now we're starting all over. But how great it is that now we get to start all over. And so now we get to fix things that we did. Yoda is slacking. No, thanks, Tag. But yeah, no, so it's fine. We'll get it going, but yeah.
And if you guys got any ideas for the content that you want to see, go ahead after this is over or in one of our other videos, just post what you want to see.
Well, several people, they want more canning, more freeze drying, which is fine. but I have to do cooking and I got to get all that stuff done again, which is fine. And now we're coming into the cold weather. I'll be inside more and be able to do that. But Starla's coming up with a huge gift for us for the back of the house, all the flooring. And so right now I'm focused on making sure I got to get my floors cleaned. That's a battle always. One, we live on a farm, and two, there's snow on the ground or rain and mud and all that stuff. So that's a constant battle, and just need to get things presentable. The jars that are out on the front porch, I got to get all those washed, get that stuff stored and put away. So there's just a lot I need to get done this week or two. And I don't know, Tag and even Hitch has made the comment, maybe I just need to do a video on that, because, life goes on. We have stuff that we have to do. So it's not just that you're out in the garden, and it's not that you're out feeding animals and watering animals. You also have to take care of the house. If you don't, you're going to live in 3 feet of filth. And who wants that? Especially
Patty says that she's happy they got the turkey coop done at the 11th hour. We were matching the turkey, or matching from the field to the coop in the snow flurries. Oh, marching the turkeys from the field to the coop in the snow flurries.
Yeah, she said that went pretty smooth.
Yeah.
So.
Hippocrates, be happy when you can quit watching and do more doing. Yeah, that's always a good thing. Bullet says starting over sucks, but you're right. It's an opportunity to realize lessons learned. We've had to do it more times than you care to admit. Yeah.
I think
absolutely.
Patty's spell check is off. She's got issues over there.
What is wrong with you? You want down, don't you?
Here, we'll let her down. You gonna go eat something?
Tag was out in -20 with -40 wind chill, repairing a broken sewer pipe. I'll bet that was.
Yeah. Remember last year when Garen had all those icicles and all that stuff coming off his beard? He did it again. And so he came walking in, and I looked at him and I'm like, "Are you okay?" And he had icicles all over his mustache and hanging down his beard and all of that.
Yeah. So I empathize with you, Tag. I was out. I spent a large part of Thursday and Friday out in the cold, just taking care of animals and making sure everything was running. And then I had, like I said, in that cold weather, the 3 frigid days, I spent an hour taking the latch off the hood of the truck so that I could get in there and get it started.
So Naughty Farms, I literally took her right before we got on. So she's good, but she just wanted some water and some food.
Oh,
still cold.
Apparently Tag's been talking about it quite a bit.
Where's your hot chocolate? I thought your lovely bride would have had plenty of hot chocolate in you to warm up.
Bullet says, "Oh, brother, I managed to get our pipes unfrozen before we had the big problem. Tomorrow I'm changing shocks in the truck." Well, it's supposed to be warm tomorrow. Warm,
40, relatively in the 40s.
Yeah, that's warm. That's a good. That's a good 60 to 80 degrees warmer than it was.
Thursday, it's going to be 57.
Starla hopes you like the glasses.
They're all right. I'm not.
Glasses.
No, I think she's talking about these glasses. I'm not thrilled, but they're what I could find. And with everything that's going on, you just got to deal with what you can find. These were the best quality that I could find. Everything else just seemed very plastic, and it wasn't going to hold up. And I even had a conversation with one girl. She's like, "Well, you can get a percentage off if you buy at this price and that price." And it was $49 and under. And those lenses, they were just very plastic. Like, I don't even care about generic. They were just plastic. And the first time I go out there and the glasses fall off my face, they're going to be broken.
Right.
So I'd be paying more and trying to get them fixed than I would just buying a good pair. They're all right. I can see just fine. Not crazy about the look of them, but I'll get over it.
So Tag posted in response to all the frozen pipes and having to fix stuff. Freedom is very expensive. Yes, it is, but it's a price worth paying.
Yeah.
There's times I miss our old place, but I sit back and I go, yeah, but I'm not in debt.
Yeah.
You know, we could take a 60% pay cut and still live a really good life, you know?
Yeah, that's interesting. Mrs. Hacks, we're about 1.5 quart in too. And I got a feeling this winter we're going to end up going through a lot more. So,
Actually,
yeah.
we're on 2.5 cords.
Are we on 2.5?
Yeah, we used half a cord in the last 5 days, 5 or 6 days.
Well, I think they've got a heater running though too. So, and they're a lot smaller than us.
But we had, we had the problem. It was warm up on the front of the house, but the back of the house where it's all metal and stuff, we've got stuff freezing. So that's one of the reasons why getting the pantry built and then insulated is going to be so important.
Yeah, because right now it's a game, and so we're going through trying to find everything, like what needs to be processed first, and then get all of that done.
What are you doing?
No, the glasses I am taking.
She's bringing you glasses.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I guess I missed something.
Oh,
I'm not sure. Oh, wait. I have been sick, and so I've slept since then. I was on a lot of medication so bad. I had to make a Walmart trip, and I should not have been driving, and I was driving because the only medication I could find, I needed a DM. I needed a decongestant, something to get that mucus loose. And so the only ones I could find were overnight. So I was taking that during the day, and I don't ever get into accidents, and I got into a car accident with a parked vehicle. So it was not good. I do vaguely remember a picture of glasses. I think I was supposed to show those to you, actually. I'll go back through and show you. But yeah, no.
Tammy says we had some frozen pipes here in Louisiana also. We'll be working on fixing them later this week. We're supposed to be up near, I hate you. Supposed to be up 70. So looking forward to that. Just rub it in. Just rub it in, Tammy.
That's what Grandma Rose was saying. She's like, the only thing that's doing well right now is the basil. I'm like, at least you have basil in the garden.
See, and the chat's really funny because Tammy says something like that, and I'm like, ugh. And then 2 down from there, Lucy's like, I'm out of the woods, so for now I'm hauling from the bush on foot in a sled. Yahoo! I'm like, yeah, at least it's not that bad.
Oh my goodness.
Bullet says we burned through 10% of our propane tank.
Ouch.
And 320 pounds of wood pellets in the last 4 days.
Yikes.
Wow. That's insane.
Wow.
Now we did use electric space heaters like in the bathroom and in the office when I was in there working. So we did augment the stove a little bit, but not enough. Not enough to make a huge difference. Oh, Tammy, I'm just teasing you. That's fine. At least you're smart enough to live there in the wintertime. Of course, in the summertime, whenever you've got mosquitoes that can carry you away, and
we have mosquitoes.
It's 90 degrees and 90% humidity. I'm gonna be going. Yeah, it's not too bad here in Kansas.
We have the same weather.
But yeah, so but I'm glad everybody survived. I mean, that's one of the things. Kentucky Sustainable posted something on one of our videos, and he's like, yeah, we made it through. And I started thinking about his comment and the video that he did the other day, and it's like, you know what, the preparation on the front end makes these events, instead of being an emergency, it just makes them another day. They're nuisances. The freezing temperatures and all that, if you prepare for it and you've got contingency plans, just a nuisance, and it's not life-threatening, which is more than we can say about a lot of people.
Yeah, and that was one of the things, that's what Miss Hacks and I were talking about. It's like, everybody from Texas up here, this is not anything new. We went through this last year. If nobody was prepared for this, and especially with all the forewarning that we got that this was coming, well, that's on you. So, down south, Louisiana, those areas, excuse me, I get it. And so, there's sympathy that goes out there. And of course, if you couldn't afford to get, yourself squared away, I get that too. I'm not trying to be heartless, but I'm not a year to prepare.
Tammy said mosquitoes are our state bird. Humidity here is the free. There are ups and downs no matter where you live. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things and that's one of the things that we minded, and they're someplace on that journey.
We may be getting choppy again.
Oh, but it's just getting out and sharing the experiences with people is what it's all about. And that's one of one of those things, you know, and the the online community is just as important right now as the real life community. Hack says, I learned that I will be adding a wood stove water heater system to the house in the future. Deep cold spells. Absolutely. I was thinking about that too. I've been doing some research. I had done some in the past, but a solar system where you build a big box on the outside of the house and you run the pipes through it. You paint it all black so that when the sun hits it, even in the deep of winter, it'll heat that air up and you can get 80, 90 degree weather or air coming out of that system, even in the dead of winter. They like their Mr. Buddy heaters. We have 2 of them. They work great in a room and the cargo trailer. Absolutely.
Yeah, we've got the buddy heaters. We haven't had to break those out yet, though. So we haven't tried those. But
Tang says, when Hurricane Laura came through, I could not get my house below 95 degrees. So humid, my hardwood floors buckled. Ouch.
Oh.
No electricity or running water for over 10 days. She almost melted.
Remember,
wow.
Dad had that problem. Remember his furs all buckled up?
Well, that was because the guy that built the house did a cruddy job at it.
Dad said he had to keep the AC at 6 buckle, something like that.
Yeah. Well, and the guy built it. The basement was entirely underground, and it was big enough that he could pull
It was an earth contact home. There's no basement.
No, the basement was big enough he could pull a truck into it.
There's no basement.
Oh, you're talking about the one in Holden. Yeah, that one too. But let's see. Bullet says we're still going to have to fuel oil filled radiant heaters. Yeah, and that's the other alternative heating methods. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but was it California? Someplace just passed a law saying that they could not put natural gas.
Yeah.
They could not put natural gas heating in new home construction.
California, you can't have a wood burning stove. It's illegal to burn firewood. Those damn people have lost their minds. I need to just go pack up my grandmother and move her back here.
And she couldn't handle the cold.
We're going to have to figure something out. So Uncle Ron's not taking care of himself. So we're going to have to figure something out.
But so that, and it just this whole number one, the government shouldn't be telling people what they can and can't use.
Right.
Using in their houses to begin with. This Yaya's work didn't fare so well. They flooded out Christmas Day from a broken water meter.
I think I saw something like that
in the news.
No, maybe that wasn't what was on the news. I think you guys might have just been closed for the winter weather. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yep, that's again, we didn't have any problems with frozen pipe. In fact, I think this is the first year in quite a while we haven't had.
You better knock on wood.
Well, but we've been. You know what I learned a couple of years ago at the old house. We had broken pipes, had water running down the basement wall.
But you haven't checked
freezing.
You haven't checked the well. You have no idea what's going on in there.
Well, but I can't do anything with it anyway. But so yeah, I was extra. That was the one thing I was really hot on this year, was making sure that the pipes didn't freeze. I hate crawling in crawl spaces and dealing with that stuff.
Yeah, but if you are replacing pipes right now, now's the best time, and just go ahead and replace them with PEX. And get that PEX in there and get that going. It stretches out 9 times its size, helping to prevent line breakage. So that's what I would recommend, and that's what we do.
Okay. Hippocrates pointed out it's the Washington State Building Code Council that came with. That's what it was. I knew it was someplace on the West Coast. Of course, you get from the.
Aren't they one in the same, California and Washington?
Well, you get from the Tijuana border up to the Canadian border and west of the Sierra Madres, and it's all. Aside from that little part up in northern California, southern Washington, it's all pretty much crunchy granola stuff with crazy ideas out there. Yeah.
I don't even think it's that. I
I
think it's
I feel for anybody.
control issues at this point.
I feel for any like-minded
Mm.
person that lives out there.
Yeah.
And
Well, and
I don't know
it's
how you
not
could
just
do it.
there, it's big cities too. And so that's what I was telling G when I was at the flea market. It was really funny to me because there was a gal that came up and she was looking at everything that I had and all of that. And she's like, do you have the boxes? Because I had my jam and salsas and all that there. And I said, yeah, I've got the boxes. And so she was filling those up and just buying by the flat.
Case.
And so so I was like, we'll hold everything. You can go ahead and walk around and do all of that and then come back and pick everything up. And I've got everything set aside for you. So we started talking. And so, of course, I'm sharing and, we're talking about homesteading. And she's like telling me that, oh, you guys should be in like the Food Network and this kind of thing. And they've got this food networking thing out of Topeka. And what they're trying to do is that has large orchards and gardens and that kind of thing. And they're trying to get everybody to quote unquote network. Well, so then she started telling me she's got 400 acres, I think is what she said. And they were certified organic. And all of a sudden she lost her certification for organic. So she cannot say that she's organic anymore. And so I said, we started talking about Buffalo Seed Company and us for them this next spring and that kind of thing. And she said, you guys would just be perfect for this. And I said, well, you could jump in on this too. And she knew who they were. And she's like, but they're out in the middle of nowhere. And I started laughing. I'm like, no, they're not. And I was like, I know where they're at. You might think they're out in the middle of nowhere because they utilize farmers and homesteaders to grow their seeds. So it may not always work because they're constantly on the road going and keeping hands-on with all of the farmers. And so we kept on talking. Next thing you know, I don't even know how we got into this. She started saying that I was telling her about the homesteading picnic, potluck, and all of that stuff. And she's like, I would love to be part of that. And I said, well, as long as you're like-minded, you're more than welcome. And, she's like, I'm like-minded. And then her very next sentence was the Trump supporter next door with his big 2024 Trump flag. And I just started laughing. And I looked at her and I go, does that bother you? And she said, oh, that bothers me. And I looked at her. And so anybody who knows me, I can be terrible. And so I looked at her and with a great big smile on my face, I looked at her and I said, I sure do miss a cheap tax and cheap gas and a mean tweet. And she looked at me and she goes, what? And so I repeated it. And she just kind of looked at me funny. And I think she got the idea and she took the stuff that luckily she had paid for it already. And so she just took everything she bought and walked out. And I haven't heard from her. She wanted to pre-order chickens and a turkey and I haven't heard from her. So I'm assuming that deal's done. But yeah, no, that was funny. I had to laugh.
Yeah.
I just thought that was
she
hilarious.
started telling me about the conversation and about 30 seconds in, I was like, red flags going off and all that. So Hippocrates says he's been told he's a crunchy conservative, but he's not a tree hugger. Okay.
I'm a tree hugger. So
it's why I love permaculture, because you've got two types of permaculturalists.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the conservative conservationist who's looking to rehab the land, and you've got what I call the drum circle permaculture, which is the touchy-feely kumbaya crunchy granola permaculture people. And that's the cool thing about permaculture, is it can bring those two groups of people together through a common goal, and it gives us a good place to start a conversation with, and so it's okay to be a crunchy conservative, or to be one of those tree hugging conservative, because you're looking at conservation and bringing back the old methods of doing things. So that's perfectly fine. I think that's cool. Lucy says, I'm hoping to put a wood cook stove in the summer. I just waiting for one that comes up cheap for sale. Yeah.
Good luck with that one,
I
Lucy.
I hope you
We've
can
been
find one.
searching and searching. They all have to pretty much be rebuilt, which if you have that resource, then that would be worth it. You know, that way you're not paying $6,000 for a kitchen queen. But yeah, if you could figure that one out to have one redone, that'd be great.
And enemies are great for the compost pile, hypothetically.
Yes.
Absolutely. Hang on a second, guys. I got a cat. Knock it off. Cat's trying to pull the tablecloth off.
If it's not you, it's her.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's all good, you know. Did we have anything else that happened this week of any import?
Not of any importance. I
No,
mean, it was just a holiday week, and with me being so sick, not much got done. We did the holiday gifts that we gave was everything that was made on, and so all of that stuff, it seemed to be a hit. Everybody loved it. It was really funny. Garen's boss, he was trying to figure out what to get Garen for Christmas, and I just giggled when Garen told me this. He ended up taking him out to lunch, and he said, "I'm sorry, I'm just taking you out to lunch." Told my wife, him and his wife, I guess, contemplated on this for a long time. He said, "It's just so hard to buy anything for you because anything that you want, you make." So we were just laughing. I thought it was cute, super funny.
Took me out to the buffet over at the casino, and
Yeah.
we had lunch. Everybody, the three of us in our department had lunch.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah, and Tammy, and that's the thing. They provide us with so much, and I even have trees that provide me and you, anybody who buys it, that provides us rooting hormone. And I got trees that provide us food. I have no problem. And G and I have actually stood out in front of trees last year, and he wanted to just cut them down, and I was like, "No, please." And I just begged him, "Please, let's give them a chance and see what they can do." And they produced for us this year. So I was really happy that we were able to save them and we didn't cut them down.
And she says that, and it's really kind of ironic that she says that, because
usually it's the other way
well,
around.
when I first started gardening many years ago, they used to laugh at me because, you know, when the sun finally comes out and it warms the dirt up, and you've been working on it and you've got it amended perfectly, and you're getting ready to plant your stuff, and the soil's all moist. I used to take and just grab a handful and sniff it, just because it smells fresh dirt that's healthy smells so good. Actually, at that point, it's not dirt; it's actually soil. But
I didn't realize soil could smell until we moved out here.
Fresh soil smells so good,
Mm-hmm.
and I love it. Let's see here. Hippocrates says, "I heard the phrase once: if trees gave us Wi-Fi, they'd be more protected. Too bad it's only food and oxygen." Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Lucy, that's so funny. My grandmother turned 96 in October, and so, or September. And I'm sorry, we're back to back. It's her and then my mom, and then I'm in October. And so she turned 96, still driving, still living on her own, doing her own thing. Uncle Ron helps her out a lot.
Yeah.
But she beats to her own drummer. But great grandma did too. Her mom, I think Grandma Snotty was like 99 or 100. I want to say she was 100. She might have been a little bit older. Dad would know. But you know, I remember I had a nice relationship with her. Well, some of the dementia, but man, she was firecracker. I can't remember if she was in rehab or if she was in a nursing home for a little bit doing rehab, and she met Charlie, and Charlie only had one leg. And
come on. We don't need the imagery. We do not need the imagery.
She got married. She's old and got married, moved Charlie in. So, but you know, yeah, no, it's fine. There's some healthy women in my family. So
yeah, Bullet says fresh soil feels amazing on the bare feet.
Yes.
I wish I could go barefoot out here. I really do. Yeah.
I do it.
Yeah,
I'm crazy. Usually crying and screaming half the time
because there's glass and wood and all kinds of stuff in the dirt out here. Either that or the chicken poop. Somebody's all wound up.
She wants water and food.
But yeah, so I ran across some things I wanted to share with you. So give me a second. Okay. Well, apparently. So I was going through the news and I found some news articles that I wanted to share with you guys because I think they're going to affect us. The first one was, and I don't remember where I got this from, but it says U.S. home price growth slows, quote unquote, to 9.24% as year over year the Feds tighten the noose. Now here's the thing about that statement. They say that the price of homes growth slows the price, so it's still going up. It's just not going up as fast as it was. You're still going to pay 9.24% more next month for a house than you do right now or next year. So the housing market is quickly coming to. What do you found? New home starts were down 65%, 60%.
I think a little bit more than that.
You know, the only upside is going to be that lumber prices should start coming down.
Well, they have started coming down. So lumber prices have already started coming down. A lot of the construction stuff, the piping for the wood burning stoves, that's come down, lowest that it's been in a couple of years. And I finally went and I got, what did I get? The 1x6s for the window trims, door trims. And so I got those, and that was the lowest I'd ever paid for those. Those were $6 something a board for 8 feet I got.
Yep.
And so that wasn't too bad. And then I'll go get OSB and gladly pay that price and not have to pay the $65 a sheet that we were paying in the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll gladly go pay. I think they're down. Tag would know because I think he just bought some, but if I remember correctly, I think he said they were under $20 a sheet now.
Right.
So so we should be able to get everything knocked out. So
get it done while it's cheap. So there's something positive to be looking forward to. If you've got construction projects going on, be on the lookout for that. Hex, let's see here. What do we got? Bullet says he's saving his ash from clean burning pellets to add to the peach to the soil this year and repair some of the land. Yep, then we're saving the stuff too. Life says OSB is $12 a sheet now. Oh man,
nice. We need to just go get everything.
Yeah. God, I got no place to keep it out of the weather.
We need let's put it in that pantry, not the pantry that we're building, but the old pantry.
There's no room in there.
Well, let's make room. $12 a board. That's ridiculous. We need to get that.
So so we got to find the silver lining in the clouds that are over us. Mm-hmm. Let's see. What was the next one? Oops. There were several of them. Oh, American Thinker had an article by Chuck Watson. It says, could blue survive without the red? And basically he was talking about the argument that people have, the blue places couldn't survive without the red places. And I think those colors are backwards. I think we're actually the blue people. They're the red. Anyway, but his was, he started the article with we're all Americans. And he made the point that the problem with the big blue dots, he called them islands. They're islands in the sea of red is what he describes. And the point that he made, that it's not the people per se in the big blue dots that are the problem. It's the leadership. It's the leadership that get these people thinking a certain way, and they lie to them and they trick them. And then the leadership in these big blue dots try to push their authoritarianism out into the red areas. And it got me thinking, this is the prime example, a prime reason why freesteading is so important. And admittedly, past 2 or 3 weeks, I have not spent a lot of time on there. I've been doing other things. But it gives us a place a clearinghouse for ideas. It gives us a way to start building community to fight against that stuff, because the authoritarianism comes from those places, and the culture from those places affects our local communities because we allow it to. So by using freesteading, and he's growling at her.
No, he's not. He's
But-
laying down and she's sleeping at her feet.
But using freesteading to build our communities and take back our local communities and the local culture, we're able to fight against that encroachment. And, you know, I've said it before, and it's, you know, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, and people may get on to me about it, but I think the divide's done. I think the division in our culture is, if it's not complete, it's well on its way. And because we've got two competing ideologies, we've got the freedom-minded people that think that the United States, the founding of the country, was a good thing, and you've got the authoritarianism people that view the founding of our country as the font of all evil for the past 400 years.
Yeah.
You know, so those two ideologies cannot exist in the same space at the same time. Something's going to have to give, and unless we want it to go the worst possible way, we need to get in front of it. We need to build our communities. We need to build our everything about our society and everything.
Do you see what text said?
Yeah,
It's
text
also-
is also about taking back our communication. Absolutely. Words have meanings. We cannot let the left dictate the meaning of words and phrases.
Well, and that starts at home. That starts at home. And I try to tell my kids this all the time. And I tell my friends this. If you have an important conversation, why the hell are you texting? Get on the phone and talk to each other. Get in front of each other and talk to each other. Because when you're texting, you have no idea that was meant, what they're talking about. You can't, you know, you're just automatically offended.
Same
I
with
have
email.
pissed off so many people texting. I hate texting anymore. And I have family members that won't talk to me. And so I just don't text anymore because I can't stand it. So you know, with all this crap, things getting posted, I'm finding stuff out on Facebook before anybody tells me anything. It's crap.
Yep.
Absolute crap. So let's take communication back. I'm done with it. So, oh man.
So if there's any call to action in this broadcast, it's for everybody to take concerted efforts to build your community, and use freesteading if it helps you. If it doesn't, find something else. The call to action is we need to start. It's called prep, is what it's called in the military. Is we are laying the groundwork for a future fight. And if we want that fight to go well, and we don't want it to be as bad as it could be, then we need to do the work now, and we need to make it ready for other people. What do you think?
Hippocrates.
Yoda, have you listened to your voicemail? Fast reveals texting.
No, I haven't. But no, see, oh geez, am I gonna have to start carrying around
The unabridged dictionary again?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you may have to.
Yeah.
You may have to. I mean that one of the planks in the Communist Party that they did back in the 50s, maybe early 60s, was they came up with all these ideas how to take down the West.
Mm-hmm.
The ways that they figured they could do it was by subverting the language and changing the meaning of words, changing the meaning of marriage, changing the meaning of.
Yeah, because now apparently you can just love each other and live together and you're husband and wife. Most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. No, I'm calling it the way it is. You are not husband and wife just because you live together. It's under God's eyes. You want to call yourself a man of God, you want to call yourself a woman of God, then you do it the godly way. You do move in together and call yourself husband and wife. Mrs. Hacks, I do listen to my voicemail. That's how I called you back, because I knew what you needed. I knew you needed a beer for today for the lamb or for the ewe.
She's saying you're not doing your voicemails quick enough.
Oh, is that what she was saying? Probably not.
You know,
I wouldn't do texting that fast either.
But so that was something it was a very interesting article, and I'll put the link in the description after we're done. And here's one. This is one, and this is a commentary again. This is not.
Oh, Rand Paul.
This is not news. But Ace of Spades, he's a conservative commentary guy. He did a commentary on the Tennessee Valley Authority and the blackouts and rural de-electrification that is going on underneath the current administration. The cat's up on the counter. Get her, sicker. It's one of Angela's big pet peeves. Oh, you scared the puppy.
No, puppy was going after the cat too.
But the article basically talked about how the Tennessee Valley Authority is doing rolling blackouts during this snow event, this cold weather event, and how rural communities are taking a back seat to the urban areas whenever it comes to restoring power. And it's always been like that, but from the way he's talking about it is now policy versus a matter of convenience. So that's something. And I'll put the link for that in the description too, so you guys can go read that. It's actually a pretty interesting. I wanted to share with you because a lot of us are living in rural America, and it's a real concern. I mean, we're used to being far off the beaten path, and so we're used to the power not coming up as quickly as if you lived in town. But for it to be policy for certain government agencies is something completely different.
You want my opinion on that?
Sure.
My opinion on that. Where is there going to be the most problem without electricity? Where is there going to be the most problem without any authority? What happens when everything is shut down? All of a sudden you have massive mobs running into Macy's and stealing crap. A very dear friend of mine just on Christmas went in to go buy a bag of ice.
You used to hate her.
Well, her daughter's married into the family, and I think there was a misunderstanding. I don't think I ever hated her. There was a misunderstanding, and so we girls are catty. And so I had made a statement, something had happened. I made a statement. Somebody else took that back to her and completely twisted what I said. And I wasn't able to fix it for years later. And so luckily we did. But she was pushed down buying a bag of ice on Saturday night, Christmas Eve. Somebody trying to steal her purse.
Luckily,
because of the car she was driving.
Luckily, there was somebody there that
helped
kept
her
from going bad.
Yeah.
Hacks, I like this. Hacks says my last duty assignment, we picked a word of the day and had to use it in our daily activities on the radio and phones. We may do that. How about on the community post, we do a word of the week, and you've got to use that word, and then come back and post a comment about how you used it. Let's figure out.
Wait, I wasn't laughing, and I was reading Hippocrates' thing, but repeat that. You want us to use what word?
A word of the week.
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, what we have here is a failure to communicate. Great movie. Fantastic. Manny, if you don't stop growling, I'm going to kick you. You might want to pick the puppy up.
No, she's laying down. She went over. I don't even know what he's growling at.
He's old and grumpy, and he growls
at everything.
And the puppy got too close to him, and he snapped at her, and big huge commotion the other day. So we're having to keep an eye on him. But yeah, so that's what were we talking about before we got sidetracked by the
communication. You were talking about communication.
We'll do that. And then finally, I got one more thing for you. And this is actually a pretty fun one. Rand Paul, Senator Rand Paul.
I love that man. Rand Paul for president 2024.
Rand Paul released his annual Festivus report. And if you don't know what that is, he details what he considers wasteful spending.
He got to state his complaints.
He
what the hell is wrong with all you people? He got to state it.
He details all the wasteful spending that happened the previous year, and he tells you exactly how much money was wasted on these things. And this year, some of the stuff was pretty crazy.
Starla, she's a gray and white border collie.
There were $300,000 spent of our money, seeing if hamsters on steroids, if they fought any different than hamsters that weren't on steroids. But they actually gave somebody money to study that. And another one was something about Thanos, who, if you don't know who that is, it's a Marvel comic book character. It was a study to see if what he did
and
in one of the movies real life.
And they get dumber and dumber. I think so. Sean Hannity reported on this and went over the rant, and then, well, not a rant, but the Festivus and statement. And then Dana, the Dana show, she went over it. I think Joe Pags, I think he even said something on it. And so everybody had different portions of that list. It's absolutely absurd and ridiculous how much money our government has pissed away this year while the American people are living in the streets and going hungry. Absolutely damn ridiculous. Yeah, I said it, YouTube.
Hippocrates, I sat out in the backyard until dark with a crossbow waiting on the deer that's been coming by. Came in after dark. Now there are 4 on the camera. Ain't that about the way it is?
So what happens here?
That's one of the things we're going to be talking about with Kentucky Sustainable. We're going to do a little bit of talking because apparently he's a pretty avid hunter too. And I'm going on the 2nd year in a row without shooting a deer during deer season. I got the antlerless portion starts January 1st, and I've got somebody that offered to let me hunt on their property, and so I've got a pretty good chance of filling out that tag.
The Dana show is on the radio. She's on the radio. Hannity I also listen to on the radio, and Pags. I don't watch them on TV. I won't pay to do that, but I will listen to them and support them on the radio. So the radio is where I get everybody from. But if we're talking about the same Dana, she's a firecracker, man. She is all liberty and freedom, and she does not put up with crap.
Oh my! You pay $25 for 4 deer.
What?
Oh, 4 per. You can get 4 per year at $25 a pop. It's $42 for a tag, right? For one tag, which is crazy because in over on Missouri side we were paying antlerless was 17 and antlered was 22. And
the really fun part is you can drive down the street all day long and hit as many as you want for free.
Yep, you can. Ask Andrew and Lisa from Tabletop about Kansas deer.
Poor things.
But pre-tenderized, absolutely. Right. Absolutely. But it's just the whole wasteful spending. The movement at freesteading about taking your dollars and spending them where it's important and coming up with these alternative income streams and economies so that we're not paying money into the system that wastes that much money on our behalf.
Right.
And that was one of the things, I'm going to say not a discussion about what's going on in the Eastern right now. What it is, it's a comment about our Constitution.
What? You've got to do what? I am not buying no Savage tag. That's not happening. I'm not doing that. Damn thing's going right in the back of my truck.
Yeah. Apparently you've never listed one.
Well, I'm coming to get you, and then we're going to go get tag, and then we'll get everybody together. We'll go get it, put it in the truck.
Lucy says, my daughter has a nickname,
one shot.
One shot, deer or bear. She has hunted. She killed with one shot. Her biggest deer is 8 points and weighed in at
20 pounds.
20 pounds. Oh my God, that's a huge deer.
Her bear was 450 pounds.
What kind of, you don't have whitetail up there. You got some other type of deer if it's 320 pounds. And the bear, I heard.
Why can't they? Wyoming has pretty large deer.
But whitetails don't get to 320 pounds.
Well, it could be some other type of deer.
A big.
Maybe crossed with elk, you think? Something like that?
They might have the whitetail mule deer up there. Are they whitetail? Seriously? I've never seen a whitetail that big. Well, it is a different country up there. They got bigger whitetail here in Kansas than they do in the western part of Missouri. So I guess they could be whitetail. That's crazy. I would love to hunt a deer that big.
Yeah, I'd love to see pictures, Lucy. Yeah, send those over.
Yeah.
But Lucy, that's what I was going to say because I saw your comment on the USB too, and so that's one of the things I noticed when I shipped the rooting hormone up to you. Just the difference in the U.S. dollar to the Canadian dollar was huge. And then I was actually talking to somebody. I will not anymore if I ship anything to you. I will not be using. I did not realize that you had to show up and pay duties and taxes on what you got from USPS. So I just want to apologize for that. And we figured it out. I should be able to negotiate with UPS and FedEx. Or no, UPS doesn't deliver up there, it's FedEx. And so I should be able to negotiate with FedEx in order to get anybody up in Canada what they need from now on. So that was a good learning lesson this weekend. Sorry, I wish I would have known about that before and maybe saved a little bit.
Our family friends, the people
they ship.
The people we went and visited, they sell Mr. Long Arm poles, which are poles for utility, extendable poles and stuff.
Yeah.
And they ship all over the world. And so they know a lot about shipping, and they shared their knowledge with us. So it was very interesting.
Yeah.
And that was another thing I wanted to talk to everybody about. And I just wanted to lay this out there so you know where we're coming from. The YouTube channel, one of the reasons we did start this was because we were looking at trying to build an alternative revenue stream. And this is the YouTube channel is a great marketing tool. And we have been leveraging it. And me personally, I've really felt uncomfortable. I don't want people thinking that we're trying to take advantage of them by using the marketing aspect of this. But if we want to build our business based on the homestead, then we're gonna start discussing our business stuff more and more. We've got the bonfire site that people that watch our channel, we were talking to this weekend, they had no idea that we had the bonfire t-shirts.
They didn't know that we were selling really any of the goods that we put in the bags. So nobody knew about the freeze-dried candy, the freeze-dried Skittles. Nobody knew about that. Nobody knew about the freeze-dried meals. Nobody knew about the rooting hormone, which is amazing to me because they watch all the time, which tells us we're marketing terribly.
Yeah.
We're doing a bad job.
And the thing is, all the stuff.
Did you see that flying, Ryan, 1986? Biggest white-tailed deer killed was 540 pounds in 1977. Reported was in Ontario, Canada. Yep. I'm not moving to Ontario, Canada.
It's too cold up there.
That doesn't have anything to do with it. Trudeau has everything to do with why I'm not going up there.
But so I just wanted to put that out. I wanted to be completely transparent about what we're doing, because you are going to see we're going to start discussing well the t-shirt shop. I'm going to start doing what some of the other channels do and putting at the end of the video when most people aren't watching it, how to do that.
We do ship the goodies.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So just and then we're also we're affiliates of Harvest Right. We've got a code for Harvest Right, or if you go through our link,
you get all kinds of free stuff. We don't get anything, but you get all kinds of free stuff.
Well,
you have to sell so many. We'll never sell that many.
12 a year. And then we are affiliates of Sun Oven. We did a Sun Oven video a year ago, and
we need to do another one.
Yeah, I need to redo that one because I went back and watched at it. Oh God, you talk about cringy. Oh my gosh. We, as bad as we are now with making videos, light years ahead of where that one is.
But it was also one of those things that we had lost electricity. And so I had to we were going for Memorial Weekend. We were going over to Ange and Mario's, and we were all going to eat. And we decided that we were going to Homestead. And so that's how we were going to eat. So we were fishing for our own food. And so I wanted to make sure that we had food to eat. So I made grape rolls, stuffed grape and leaves. And so made that.
And cheesy biscuits.
Yeah. And we had lost electricity. And so we had to pull the Sun ovens out real quick in order to finish those up. So That's what that was about. So it was last minute, not planned anyway. So that's why it was so bad. Yeah. Yeah, the sun oven. I love those too. I've had mine for a long time. I started with a different one I found out in Colorado years ago, at a solar bore. And I found that thrift store, $35, brand spanking new, right out of the box. Used it, so we put it together. I started using it, and then at an auction he found the sun ovens, and we got those.
We ended up buying a total of 6 of them, and
Was there
selling some to
only
people.
6? No, I think total there was like 7.
Okay.
I think total was 7 because we had one, and then we ended up with 2 more because we said we'd take a second one, but we ended up with a third one.
Okay, so I want you to use our sun oven link. I want you to use that because it helps us. With that said,
there's other ways to find them.
Go on online auctions. Find online auctions that are near you, and look for the ones that are insurance freight auctions. The sun ovens that we got were part of a shipment, and normally the sun ovens, and this is back when the sun ovens were what they were $250, $300 a piece. We ended up getting 7 of them for $100 each, just averaging out the prices because nobody knew what they were, So go look at those auctions and look for stuff like that. Look for freeze dryers on Craigslist,
Hippocrates, make sure you really do some research on the oilless pump. Talk to several different people, get several different views. You can go on Facebook and go to, I think it's Harvest Rate. And so Harvest Rate has a page on there. Feel free to ask anybody on there who likes their oilless pump, who likes the oil pump. I think with what we've had to replace, and then what I hear, we've never tried the oilless pump. I was going to, but at that time, that was a couple years ago, right?
I don't have the money to buy one.
So, well, no, it was a couple years ago when we were looking at it. We had the money, but we chose not to. And I think it was because of a lot of the reviews that I read on it. So we actually had
that, and I'm cheap. They're 2.5. At the time they were 2.5 times.
They're $1,200 now. They're the same price what they were then.
Well,
so they're like $1,200, $1,400 somewhere in there.
Back then the oil pumps were only $400. Now they're $650.
Well, anyway, but we had a friend of ours who was able to find oil, the liquid gold, and he was able to find that liquid gold. We got 4 gallons for $89, which is cheaper. I don't know where he found that at. I can find out, but I think there was a sale. That 4 gallons is going to last us 4 to 5 years. So because we refilter that oil, so we really don't go through a lot of oil, and our pump holds up pretty good.
I need to replace the oil after the next thing.
Well, Noel, I just got the ravioli out and it's defrosting, so why don't you just go ahead and do it?
Because I got one more load. I'm gonna have to do it after the next one.
Oh, okay.
Lucy, Hippocrates is right. As long as you've got some direct sun, and you only need, depending on how intense it is, you only need 4 to 6 hours to cook most stuff.
Well, it just kind of depends on what you're doing. But yeah, the solar oven is fine. That's why I have 3 of them, because I can usually take breakfast. I would just do on an open fire, to be honest with you. And then lunch, dinner, I would make sure I could take care of in the sun oven. So that's why I have 3. We also have 3 in order. If the kids were to make it, we have 1 for each family. So it works out fine, especially with campouts and stuff like that.
And like I said, we did the video from a year ago. You can go look through, do a search on our video library and find that one. Lifetime Free just did one 2 months ago.
Yeah, maybe a month ago.
Was it a month ago? But it wasn't too terribly long ago. And so they did one as well. So this is, it's something that we used.
So Lucy, just think of it this way: a sun oven, the best way to look at that is kind of like a slow cooker. So if you're working on the homestead all day long, which I know you do, you're constantly busting tail. This is something you could put a roast in, and I've done roast in it. You could put a roast in, leave it, not worry about it, go back to it when
you got to
it's
go
dinner
check
time.
it about every hour.
Well, you're just checking on the
move it.
temperature.
And you got to move it. You got to move it so it stays in the direction of the sun.
Yeah, but you just kind of think of it as a slow cooker type thing. Is how I
Doug and
how I
Stacy.
do.
Doug and Stacy
Mhm.
got good videos on it too.
Yeah,
They had the one. They had the one video where the guy from Sun Oven actually brought his big huge Sun Oven trailer out, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
A great big monster.
Is that the same guy that was in Hannibal?
No, it wasn't the same guy. Yeah, I actually heard about Sun Oven off of Spearco. Jack Spearco back in the day was one of the very first people. Whenever the guys from Sun Oven started the company and started to go national, he was one of the first ones that brought them to people's attention. You know. And Lucy, you can create your own.
I think Starla's doing the same thing, if I remember correctly. I think Starla's also.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing I learned from having the Sun Oven and looking at building my own. Make sure it's extremely insulated. The insulation is probably the most important thing. So yeah, make sure it's insulated really well. You know, and you can build one. I mean, I've seen people build them out of parabolic satellite dishes. You could build a sun cooker out of that.
Well, and the rack looks like it'd be pretty easy to replicate too. So the little rack you put your pans on, so as you have to lift it or lower it or move it, that rack keeps everything from falling over and spilling out. I remember making them from tinfoil, styrofoam and cardboard box when I was in 4-H. Yeah, we did the same thing, Girl Scouts.
Yeah, and you know, it's just a matter of efficiency at that point. But learning how to do it, I think, is just as good as having one.
I think it's even better, because what happens if something happens to that Sun Oven? Somebody's going to steal your Sun Oven before they steal your homemade makeshift.
Well, and that's one of the good things about the Sun Oven is you don't have this is disaster preparedness. The guy from Sun Oven talks about taking them down to Haiti after the big earthquake back in the thousands.
Katrina, was it
No,
Rita or something like that? I don't know.
But he took them down there, and they said one of the problems that people had was nobody had power, nobody had food, and people would start cooking over an open fire, and the smell of that food would get out in the neighborhood.
And then people were showing up on your doorstep.
When you're hungry, you're really attuned to that stuff, and you can find out who's cooking that. Sun Oven, you do not have that problem.
You can still smell it a little bit. It's
but
just
you'd have to be right on top of it.
Yeah, it's not so aromatic that it's traveling out for a mile. Yeah. So, but I have smelt it before. So, but it does lock down. You could try to do whatever you want. Nobody is around him. He's
growling at the puppy that's over there.
The puppy is not.
She's trying to eat. See her. So he's growling at her.
But
sorry, folks. We got to monitor the dogs.
Doing it yourself is the cheapest way, especially if you can get material for free. Not necessarily. Well, yes, but then what's your time worth? And if you can pick one up at auction for $29, $36.
If you find one cheap, yeah.
I mean, we found some cheaper than others. I think the most we paid, do you remember correctly? The most we paid was $100.
We paid $150 for two of them.
Might have been a bit lower than that. Was it for two or for one?
For two of them, because we got the other ones at two of them at $50 and one of them at $75. That's why it evened out.
Yeah, but basically what we did, we just put everything together, and then because it was two different auctions, and we just put everything together and then divided it up, and then whoever in the group wanted them could buy them. Well, and that's what we did. The receipt is somewhere. It's been years. I don't even know.
And the cool thing about learning to do this yourself is it opens up other doors. It opens up because, you know, I was talking about the hot air exchange, putting it on the side of the house. Hang on a second. Okay.
Well, and what about alternative income too? So if you're able to build something like that and you can make it work, well, hey, what a great business to start.
Yep. You know, and I'm looking at building a passive solar water heater, which I think would be really cool. And why did iTunes just pop up? Okay. Lisa says she lives so far back in the bush, nobody would be able to smell the food.
You'd be surprised.
You probably got more worries about bears than anything else.
Yeah.
But it does learning how to do this stuff does open up a lot of different avenues. You know, very interesting stuff.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're at almost an hour and a half. So if anybody has any questions for us, now would be the time to ask, and then we can get those answered.
Yep.
If you know how to build a greenhouse, you got to get them off.
Hang on,
Is there no way to block them when we're
got
live?
notifications.
Let's see. If you know how to build a greenhouse, you could use essentially the same for a solar kiln for wood or solar dehydrator.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's one thing about the sun oven. It is a food dehydrator. You can do that in there.
Well, and Tag and I were talking with his sawmill. We were talking. I suggested that we build a solar kiln to dry the wood quicker. You know, because just having it sitting out for a year drying just takes entirely too long.
Yeah.
But you just get a greenhouse, put fan on it so you're circulating the air through it, and it'll dry it out lickety split. You know.
Yeah. So anyway, looks like that's about it. So I think you gave some challenges or inspiration or whatever.
Yep.
And
you guys gave me some ideas. I'm going to do the word of the day or word of the week. I'll figure out how to do that.
Like word of the day, that's too much.
No, it's too much work there.
Yeah, so we hope you guys enjoyed some of the new equipment. Sorry about the internet, not much we can do about that, but at least we did get a microphone and some other things under control, and got a GoPro for Christmas.
Yes, she bought. I'm replacing the No Pro with a real GoPro.
Yeah. And so it was weird. I didn't even get his present until Sunday before Christmas. And I went into Best Buy, and not only was the Black Friday special on clearance, but it was on clearance and then a little bit lower because somebody ordered it, regretted it, returned it, and they treat it just like a brand new product. So sorry it didn't have the cover on it, but it was all together. So, and stupid cheap considering what it could have been. So, but you know, even Brandy was like, wow, because she bought her dad one and I got a much better price. So, yeah, I had bears in my garage. I fed them apples at work. I called Chrisley Granny. My aunt lives in Colorado. My daughter has called me when there's been bears on the deck. There's no way I would purposely feed a bear. But
you would let your daughter stand next to a bull elk.
I didn't know any better. It wasn't a bear, so it was a herd of them too. So that was what really. I thought it was pretty cool.
Tammy asked that anybody who prays to pray for them that they need help.
Absolutely, Tammy, you're on our prayer list. We will make sure that happens. And Starla can use some prayers. They're going to be traveling here pretty soon and heading to anyway, she can tell you. But so safe travels for Starla. And I don't see T-Paw in here. Probably need to call her, see how things are going, make sure she's doing okay. I know she needs some prayers. So you guys just keep everybody in your prayers. Our country needs prayers right now. We just all do. So anyway, guys, let's see. It's supposed to stay safe. Prayers for everyone tonight. Love you and all. Yeah. Thanks, Lucy.
No, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys spend the evening with us and letting us ramble on and talk our inane thoughts. You know, letting us get sassy. So anyway, all right, guys. Until next time. Hey, everybody, go live a life done free. Take care.